Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
Welcome to our program today. This starts a series of programs about one of our most wonderful institutions in the Permian Basin in West Texas, and that's UTPB. The University of Texas of the Permian Basin is celebrating its 40th year anniversary, and we are so proud of how far they've come in these 40 years and the students that they've produced into our workforce, and not just here in West Texas but spread out all over the world. And so you're going to meet a lot of the people, not only the people that run the programs and administer the programs and teach, but also a lot of the students over the next few weeks. And today you're going to meet, we're going to start with the athletic director. Steve Aicinena is here to introduce some of his students and talk about the program and some of the exciting new things on the horizon in the athletic department. Also here today is Ryley Carman, and she's a junior student, a volleyball scholarship student, majoring in business management, and so she's got one more year to go. And we're going to talk to these two people today, and then we'll have more that will be coming up. Steve, thank you, and Carmen and Ryley for coming today, and I am particularly pleased to start because you've got a pretty big announcement to make, don't you, about the football program?
Well, I think a lot of people in the Permian Basin have already heard that the Board of Regents has given us permission to proceed with fundraising in an effort to bring football to UTPB. Football is something that the community's been very, very interested in. I've been here, this is my 27th year, so from the time I've been here I've heard questions about that. And then once we started the athletic program, those questions were very, very common and very, very frequent. So it's really good to have the opportunity to proceed with plans to start a football team, and we're really excited about the prospect of. And
so who will you be competing against?
Most likely we will be competing against schools that are in the Lone Star Conference in football. At this point we haven't made a definitive decision or schedule. Reality is I'm not allowed to really take any very focused or direct steps towards facility construction, scheduling, or anything else until we've managed to achieve our fundraising goal of $9.5 million. So that's a lot of money. Good thing is that business is good here in the Permian Basin, and the time is really right to try to do that.
And this is an opportunity for everybody to say, I can see that we need to be sending some money to UTPB for their athletic program. But tell us a little bit about the other programs that you've had ongoing.
Sure. We've had athletics since 1994. That's when we took our first fledgling steps towards having an athletic program. We started with a club volleyball and a club soccer team for men. And we became an intercollegiate program in 1995. And from 1995 through today, we've managed to bring our total number of sports to 13. If we do have football, obviously it'll be our 14th sport. But we also plan to start golf for men and women at the same time. So our goal in the immediate future is to have 16 teams. And then down the road, our intention is to add men's and women's track to bring that. So that's basically a history of what we've done. And really, we've tried to find a niche here. When we started the program, we really started sports that didn't exist in the junior colleges in this area at the time. So volleyball didn't exist at Midland College or Odessa College. We tried not to add basketball early. One of the things that has always been important to me is to really do what's best for the institution and the community, to have a broad focus. So really the community colleges and the four-year schools have slightly different missions, and I really tried to, as we brought our athletic program along, try to fit in best with what our mission is, and be our own institution.
Well, one of the things that you see with, for example, the girls volleyball, since we've got some girls volleyball students in our studio today.
Just because of ease of access.
Yes, is that we've had a lot of support for our student athletes, haven't we?
We have, and particularly on the campus. I've been here since 1988, so I remember driving up and seeing the Mesa building, the gymnasium, 8 trailers, and what they call the Founders Building. So I've seen many changes.
If you haven't been out there lately, the campus is so pretty.
Yeah. In fact, I'm just going to go off on a tangent, but I remember bringing a recruit to campus, going through what we had, coming down out through the courtyard, and again, there was nothing out there but sagebrush and prairie grass.
Yes.
And she said, "I like you. I think I'd get a good education, but this place is really ugly." So now people are actually coming down and saying,
wow,
this campus is really nice. So that's really important. But there have been a lot of changes, and one of the things that I envisioned as a faculty member, I'm a professor in the kinesiology department too, was spending time at athletic events and going to musical performances and things above and beyond your academic endeavors. And UTPB really made some efforts to do that before we became a 4-year school. But since we've added freshmen, sophomores, added athletics, added other support programs through student life, it's really a transformed institution. So whether it was somebody who was here 15 years ago, it's a completely different campus. It's a completely different type of a student body, and UTPB really has a lot to offer people that they would expect to have in terms of a full college experience. So it's
one of the things, though, that I can remember back to when it started 40 years ago, and it really was just an open field. But the interesting thing is the communities of West Texas have always been so supportive, and for that is one of the things we can look toward, that this has grown so much and has a great future because we've got a lot of good support.
Absolutely does, and we have a search going on currently for a vice president provost, and I met with one of the candidates just yesterday, and one of the things that's important for I think everybody to understand is UTPB is only 40 years old. If you're comparing that to a lot of the established institutions, they have a much larger group of alumni, established traditions, people who have graduated and have started to have expendable income that they can donate.
We're going to have to take a break. We'll be back in just a minute and meet a little bit more in depth Ryley. We'll see you in just a minute.
In depth.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.